this video, I want to talk to you guys about what's in my case or backpack, because they're kind of the same thing. Let's check it out. So one of the things that I have been doing a lot more of this year has been just all kinds of random various types of video and photo shoots combined. And what I've come to find is a lot of times those things are separate in terms of, hey, this client wants just photos and this client wants just video. So with that being said, I've been carrying around a backpack with just kind of all the gear just in case. Like, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have before, if not still doing now. And it just got to where it was too heavy everywhere I was going. And one of the things I wanted to do was to purchase this Pelican 1535, Pelican Air case that is, so I could actually customize this to be my main video case. And then when I do photos, I can just carry a backpack or make a hybrid if I need to, but really source everything from this one case. And so that's what I went and set out to do. So again, this is the Pelican Air 1535 that came with the modules. I don't know what they're called, but let's jump right in. So I love this case, first of all, because it's got wheels, it's got the handle, it's got a fancy little spot in the front for a business card. So I just put my card information there, where it's got my contact info in case this case gets lost for some reason. This is the carry-on size, so it's perfect for hopping on a flight with this and a backpack and a little bit of clothes. So I love it. But without further ado, let's jump into this case. So here we have the way I set up and like to have set up my Pelican Air case. And you may notice there's a couple of things missing. That's because I'm using that for this particular video. And so, for example, this corner here houses my Canon R7, which is this camera I'm mainly shooting on. And I'm also missing a lens right here, which is the Canon 50mm 1.2 and the RF, of course, because the R7 is RF. And then let's just jump in. I kind of have a few things. I'll link everything down below. If you got any questions, feel free to reach out. But this is kind of how I organized and foresaw my case to look like. Again, it's great in the dimensions, the size, the weight, all the things. So really you have to purchase the case itself and then add on the Trek Pack dividers. And one of the things that I love about these is you can cut them to size and customize your case, hence why every case looks different. And they come with these fancy little red tabs. Not a big fan of the color red, but this actually looks pretty sweet. And it's super easy to move around if I need to, cut a new piece, that kind of thing. So I bought the case with the dividers, and then I also bought this little fancy mesh organizer, I guess you will. I'll link that below as well, just to add some more storage to the top of my case, and I love that thing. But let's dive into each item and what I carry. So this is my Canon R5C, as you can see, with the 15-35 mounted on it, because that's like my go-to lens for a lot of stuff. I did a like a commercial and construction shoot yesterday where I did a lot of landscape stuff. So this was a great lens for that. On my small rig cage that I've got mounted with a couple of accessories, you can check my R5C video. I'll link it right here above that you can click and watch if you want to check out how this is rigged out. But yeah, that's this cage. Love the R5C, amazing hybrid camera. It's hard to beat it. Just above it here in the case is my Adamus Shinobi 5-inch monitor. Love this thing. It's basically the Ninja without the recording capabilities, but you still can load in LUTs. You got only one HDMI in, so there's no HDMI out. However, I don't really need that, so that's nice to have when I need it. I normally use this when I'm recording these kinds of videos, but just for the sake of where it goes in the case, I wanted to leave it for you guys. Again, the 50mm 1.2 here. You see the Canon 70-200, 2.8 here in the RF size. Amazing lens, use it all the time. Then I've kind of got my drone section. This is the DJI Mini 3 Pro, and I love it. The remote fits right here perfectly. And gosh, this is my favorite thing about the entire drone itself, because it just looks good, it feels good. I don't have to pull out my phone and throw it on top, and it slides just in right here perfectly. Got the Mini 3 Pro here folded up nice and compact. What's great is I can put it this way just to protect the drone itself, but if I also wanted to flip it this way to access the card or the charger or, you know, the USB-C port, I can do that easily. And the reason I even mention that is because, and we'll talk about this more, is I got a little charging thing right here. But just below it is the battery storage, and then I've got a little empty pouch, which is housing one of my little small LED lights that I'm using over here off camera. I've got some ND filters in here next to the drone accessories, and yeah, just love the way that fits in, really tight and smooth in this area. It's great. Just above it is kind of my audio compartment. I've got one of these little pouches that's got a ton of just audio cables, lav mics, things like that in here. Underneath that, I've got a Rycote mount with some of the Rode Go, the originals that are now discontinued, but I was gonna sell these and get rid of them, but then I realized I could use these at church on a sound console. Basically, I can take this in, which is the transmitter, send a live stream feed to it, and then send that live stream feed wirelessly to the camera, so I don't have to mix and post after. So great hack. If you want to know more about that, reach out. I'd love to touch base. And then, of course, my favorite microphone of all time, well, of all time for videographers and stuff, is the DJI mic. And you're like, whoa, where are the pieces? Well, I'm using one on my chest now to record this video. And, of course, the transmitter is over at the, or the receiver's over at the camera. So, with that being said, this thing is just amazing. The case, the functionality, the design, the way it just, I can't say enough about the DJI mic. If you haven't tried it out, you're going to want it as soon as you put your hands on it. So with that being said, there's one more compartment over here. This is kind of miscellaneous. So I've got my grips, my handles. This is just a little crab clamp with a little accessory shoe on it, so I can mount some lights, things like that. And then, of course, you see this guy. This is just a Anchor power hub, and I love it because I have the power source cable underneath. Say you pull up somewhere and you need to charge some stuff. All I do is grab a cable from my mesh organizer, and then what I can do is plug into here and charge my drone. I can charge the DJI mic. I can charge the EOS R5C if I want, which is just amazing that you can do that all from this case. I don't do it all the time just for insulation and overheating purposes. I typically pull it out and we'll just use it that way, but it's kind of functional being right there like it is. So with that being said, yeah, just a little miscellaneous spot there for things. And then, of course, the Canon R5C goes here. Now let's talk about the mesh organizer. There's a few different types out there. This is the one I love because it was mesh, seemed pretty durable, and it had a lot of pockets and a lot of organizing for me to do, because you've got cables. The cables need to go somewhere. I don't want cables in my backpack, so therefore they come in here. So top left case, I've got the DJI mic bag, which just got like the dead cat and a couple little mic accessories. I've got the HDMI to mini HDMI or micro HDMI, and I got some charging blocks. So I've got, you know, the Anchor one, the iPhone one. I've got the CFast reader card in there and a cable for it. So that's pretty simple there. Let's just go across. Right here, I've got another pouch, which has got the Mist Edition 2 Polar Pro ND filter that's variable, which is great from the Nomadic guys and the Polar Pro guys, I should say. And I've got a step-up ring in here, and I've got a couple of charging cables for the USB hub that I'm using. And then I've got just a couple of little things like an Apple AirTag to keep track of my case. If you haven't done that, buy some Apple AirTags, throw them in your bags. I put one in my backpack, my case, any of that stuff, in case, you know, I put them in my case just for emergencies, or if misplaced somewhere on a shoot where there's a ton of people, I just want to know where my stuff is at all times. Over here, I've just got a ton of USB-C cables, which are, you know, needed for a lot of stuff. I use it for what I'll show you next. I use it for just charging, etc. But the main thing I have in this bottom left corner, and I think the only thing, is this FX Lion Nano 1. And I love this because it's a small USB-C, USB-A battery that's V-mount accessible, but it's also mounted onto the side of my Canon R5C, just like that. So it actually also acts as a grip for my camera and charges it at the same time up to about 4 hours of use, because if you have the R5C or have heard about it, in video mode, it drains some battery. Photo mode, it's amazing, but video mode, man, it can suck down a battery real fast. Next to it, we've got some drone propellers extra just in case. And I've got a bunch of hard drives, the Samsung T7s, and then of course the new Samsung rugged T7 Shield. I love this thing. It's a 2 terabyte card that I just purchased recently for a large 2-day event that I needed it for when I was shooting them on Blackmagic 6Ks. And the only complaint I have about the Canon stuff, and I wish they would fix it soon or make it available, is to record externally via USB-C to a, external storage like a T7 or something. That'd be amazing. So now you've seen it. You've seen what I carry around, I travel with, I love to use on a day in, day out basis for all of my equipment. And honestly, having a backpack is awesome when I go on long trips and all that stuff, but it's super easy to carry along a little carry-on case with all of my equipment that I could have by my side or above my head on a flight to go to a destination to record or shoot something. And the whole hybrid thing is awesome because those cameras shoot very good video and photo. I'm using the R7 right now with the 50mm on it, shooting this content right now that you're seeing on the screen, and it's just a great package. It's a great B cam. And one of the things I loved to do for the longest time was carry around this Nomadic Peter McKinnon. This is like the biggest one they have. I can't remember what liter size it is, but it's the bigger one. And it's awesome. It's sturdy. It's super organized, and I will forever love this backpack and keep it. And it's got so many compartments, and it was just so well thought out. So Peter, great job on thinking this through, as well as the Nomadic team. Amazing build. But I tended to overload this with so much stuff to the point of it getting so heavy on my back. And so what I've decided to do is it's the perfect size of the Pelican case within the backpack. So I could literally take those Trek Pack dividers and put it inside the Peter McKinnon Nomadic backpack and travel that way if I wanted to, or take out just the photo components I needed for a photo shoot, or if I'm going on vacation and only want to carry a couple of things, I just pull it out of my case and make those separate bags if need be. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. This was my Pelican 1535 case, my everyday carry, and I love the thing. It's amazing, it's useful, it's practical, and it doesn't put a strain on my back. And so with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment down below some of the questions you may have. The gear list is below if you want to check that out. And also, again, this Canon R5C rig video, check that out if you want to know more about my handheld rig. Thanks for checking out today's video, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.